Hi everybody, it's Rachel and I'm here with Logan. He is a 21-year-old quarter horse. We've gotten a little bit into the session. We found some spots that make him nervous. So for the purpose of continuing the demonstration I did in my other video, I'm going to do 5 strokes in his face and neck because it seems to be where he's the most comfortable, and and I don't want to stress him out too much because everywhere I've tried to demo this before, he's been real uncomfortable. And I will get into that further in the body session. But he moves around a lot, and so it's hard to catch him in the video. So we're going to stay up by his front, and I'm just going to demo. He's being a super trooper for me. Alright, so the first one I'm going to go back to is effleurage. See if I can get him to step up. So what I've identified is his rhomboid and nuchal ligament are super tight. It is like a stone up here. And so I'm going to use some effleurage. I'm going to calm my tone down because that may have also been contributing to his nervousness. And we're just going to wake up these muscles. Wake up these muscles. Good. It's definitely tighter down here. And down here you've got some other muscles that start to come in. So you've got the rhomboid. At the base of the neck, you've got some of the traps. The deltoid comes up here by the scapula, up in here. So he's real, ooh, you like that, huh? He's real tight. So I'm just gonna try and keep him stable. And just keep working, especially down here. So this is my effleurage. Yeah. Good boy. Yeah. See, it's not scary. You got it. Yeah. Good boy. Alright. So now that I've started to warm this muscle up just a little bit, I'm going to do a little bit of vibration, which is just a single point where you sit there, you kind of see my watch jiggle, trying to see if the fascia is stuck or adhered to the muscle at all. I'm not seeing any, although he likes that. Yeah. Does that feel good? Good boy. Got some soft eyes now. And I apologize, my back is to you, so I hope you can hear me. He doesn't seem to mind this, which is good. And again, this is just my way of trying to say, hey muscles, wake up. And at the same time, I'm feeling for any of the restrictions in the superficial fascia. So that's that slimy layer, that web layer underneath the skin. Good. Now my favorite stroke, personally, when dealing with the neck at all, is petrissage. And I combine it a little bit with friction. So friction is that circle, and it can be big like this, or it can be a little bit smaller. Well, he really likes that. I know I'm standing in the way of his face, but and I'll combine it with petrissage. Now petrissage is when you do that kneading motion, right? So I'll knead up here a little bit too much. But I'll add a little bit of a circular movement, so it's a bit of a combination. You let me do 2 hands? Yeah, this is real hard. It's uncomfortable. Stay with me. Stay with me. I gotta work on it. He's not as much of a fan of the petrissage, but he liked the friction, so we're gonna go back to that. Because while there are things I may want to do, ultimately he is in control here. And I've got to listen to him. I'm just gonna see if he'll let me rock this back and forth. Get some movement in here. Because somewhere he is restricted, and I need to figure out where, and if I can get this muscle to let go. You hear movement up there? Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just look for my fingers because I'm going to poke through his mane. I'm going to poke through his mane. He's not so bad up here. Easier. A little slower. A little lighter. Easy. Can you take a step up for me? I know, I hate putting you on the spot, but we got to make sure they can see. And I am doing a little bit of a compression because I am squeezing this muscle. Not super tight because he did not appreciate that the first time I tried it. Sometimes lighter pressure is all they need, especially if they're real sensitive. But we're already getting more movement in here than we did in the very beginning, which is what we want. Sometimes it just takes a little bit to warm that muscle up. Remind it, hey, you can relax. Feels a little funky, huh? Feels a little funky. Yeah. I know those flies are getting you, huh? I don't know where you're on the flies, but yeah, I get it. All right, so I'm gonna go. So what I'm doing now is not technically one of the 5 strokes, it's a little bit of cross fiber because the brachiocephalic comes down and I'm coming up with my hands. But I really want to try and get as much surface area as I can. So I'm using mostly my palm. I'll go back into that petrissage. Now that his neck is out for me. Good boy, let's walk up a step. I know, I keep having you move. Good boy, you got it. You're such a trooper. Can you straighten your neck for me? No, don't twist. Don't twist. I do see his neck is kind of bowing out a little bit more. On my right, his left. Good. There's a good boy. Yeah. And he seems more comfortable with me only using one hand, which is good because he's a walker. So I can use my other hand to try and keep him more steady. There's a good boy. All right, so we've done, so one of the other strokes is tapotment. I wouldn't really use that on his neck. Yeah. But that's where you're kind of just trying to draw the attention to a single spot. You can kind of think of it a little bit like vibration. Yep. Really trying to get the base of his rhomboid. I hear you, friend. She wants attention. The base of his rhomboid. And you don't have to use a lot of pressure. I'm just trying to. Now that's a way. Usually you would use that kind of like going down the spine. He doesn't have much of a top line, so I'm not going to use it on him or demo there. But I really do want to keep working on this muscle here. And because it's tight here, that doesn't necessarily mean it's just this muscle. So there are a lot of muscles that overlap around the scapula. So we can come down and do some effleurage on the deltoid, infraspinatus, supraspinatus. Come up here. Take a step forward. Good boy. Now he's an older gentleman, so I'm not surprised that he likes the effleurage. Because some of these other strokes, they can be a little bit more aggressive. When you get into the manual massage, some of these older horses aren't as much of a fan. So while I work on this, we're going to go back over. We've got effleurage, petrissage, tapotement, friction, and vibration. We've demoed all of these. And I'm just going to go back to effleurage, because effleurage and petrissage, and friction, because we're going to go back to friction, because, yep. Is it too much? Never look over. Alright, we're going to give him a second. He's processing. See if you can see his. There we go. And sometimes we just gotta listen. Yeah. Now, licks and chews don't always mean like what isn't always a response to me. It could also be his environment. But I could kind of tell on his face that he needed a second. Because he closed his eyes, his lips were quivering, his nose is quivering, he's still shaking a little bit. Yeah. And that's okay. I'm on his speed, his time. But that is how I would use the 5 strokes, or how I do use the 5 strokes. And this is going to be kind of boring, so I'll cut the video off. But all I'm going to do is continue to use friction and effleurage, especially, let's say, halfway up his neck, down towards his withers. His withers also has a restriction. I've tried videotaping me working on that, and he was not appreciative, so I kind of need to focus a lot on what I'm doing there. But yeah, that is how you would use the 5 strokes in an actual bodywork session.